You don't see moments like this very often. I remember catching a glimpse of Mick Jagger on stage once, and it completely floored me. And then there was Pete Townshend, the creative force behind The Who once smashed his guitar after hearing a certain band's performance. "What's it got to do with you?" "They're my guitars," he snapped. It was pure brute force, a declaration of total destruction, aimed not just at instruments, but at everything he believed was corrupting rock and roll. The man who built rock opera and perfected the power chord wasn't only famous for smashing guitars in front of roaring crowds. Offstage, legend uncovered, he could be just as merciless when tearing apart other bands with his words. As Townshend once put it, the triangle was going to be The Who, the Stones, and the Faces. Rod Stewart never really got in the loop. I think he may have been uneasy with the idea. Townshend saw rock music as a revolutionary force, something capable of shaking society to its core. So when he encountered groups he felt were wasting that power, his reactions were explosive. These weren't casual disagreements about musical direction. They were open declarations of war against everything he stood for. And because Townshend was the mind behind classics like My Generation and Won't Get Fooled Again, the entire music world paid attention. His attacks weren't driven by jealousy or a commercial rivalry. They came from someone who believed deeply that rock was supposed to challenge authority and inspire real change. Today we're counting down Pete Townshend's 6 most blistering takedowns of fellow rock bands. From progressive rockers he called pretentious to punk icons he dismissed as frauds, these feuds reveal the fiery, uncompromising spirit of one of rock's greatest innovators. 6. Yes, starting at number 6, we have Yes, a band Townshend reportedly viewed as the very worst example of progressive rock gone wrong. While millions admired their complex compositions and dazzling musicianship, Townshend allegedly saw their long, intricate pieces as nothing more than musical masturbation. He was especially critical of their 20-minute songs, which he believed required a music degree to fully appreciate. In his eyes, Yes were betraying rock's democratic roots by turning it into an elitist art form that excluded the working-class kids who had given birth to the genre. Critics may have hailed Yes for sophistication, but Townshend supposedly felt they represented everything wrong with 1970s rock, bands flaunting technical skill instead of channeling raw human emotion. Industry insiders say he even joked that any song that needs an intermission is missing the whole point of rock music's punch and immediacy. 5. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. At number 5 sits Emerson, Lake and Palmer, a group whose reputation for excess drove Townshend up the wall. He reportedly despised Keith Emerson's flashy keyboard stunts, playing multiple keyboards at once, weaving in classical pieces, calling it pure showboating, with little emotional payoff. Townshend believed rock's true strength came from simplicity and directness, not from competing with symphony orchestras. He was convinced ELP's elaborate stage shows and orchestral arrangements encouraged other bands to add needless complexity, making rock less accessible to the average listener. According to concert insiders, Townshend would even schedule The Who's performances to conflict with ELP gigs whenever possible, mocking their circus act during his own shows. 4. The Eagles' number 4 brings us to the Eagles, a feud fueled by Townshend's disdain for what he saw as the complete commercialization of American rock. While the Eagles dominated radio with polished harmonies and perfectly crafted hits, Townshend reportedly viewed them as the embodiment of corporate rock, music designed for radio rotation and record sales rather than authentic artistic expression. Their massive success only deepened his frustration. To Townshend, the Eagles' popularity proved that audiences were being spoon-fed safe, non-threatening music that neither challenged nor inspired. He allegedly sneered that the Eagles are rock music for people who don't actually like rock music. Industry insiders say he bristled whenever they received awards, fearing their success would pressure other bands to chase profits instead of innovation. 3. Genesis, post Peter Gabriel, landing at number 3 is Genesis, specifically after Peter Gabriel's departure. Fans may still debate the band's evolution from progressive art rock to mainstream pop. But Townshend reportedly saw their transformation as the ultimate sellout. He believed Phil Collins had turned Genesis into an arena pop machine focused on MTV-friendly hits rather than bold experimentation. Watching their massive commercial triumph in the 1980s, Townshend allegedly said it was like watching your own children grow up to become everything you despise. What angered him most was the precedent it set: progressive bands abandoning artistic principles to chase mainstream fame. 2. The Sex Pistols, in the runner-up spot as punk's most notorious act, the Sex Pistols. You might think Townshend would admire their rebellious streak, but he reportedly considered them fake revolutionaries. He believed manager Malcolm McLaren manufactured their outrage as a marketing gimmick, claiming the Pistols had no genuine understanding of what rebellion really means. Their deliberately sloppy musicianship also offended him. Townshend supposedly argued that their inability to actually play encouraged mediocrity and insulted bands that had spent years honing their craft. He particularly resented comparisons between the Pistols and The Who, insisting that his band had been delivering authentic social criticism long before punk ever existed. Led Zeppelin. Finally, at number 1, we reach Townshend's most shocking feud, Led Zeppelin. Despite both being British rock titans, he allegedly despised nearly everything about their music. Townshend openly admitted, "I haven't liked a single thing they've done. I hate that I'm even slightly compared to them." His biggest grievance? He believed Zeppelin built their empire on uncredited blues riffs taken from black American musicians, a form of cultural theft he found unforgivable. While Townshend was pushing rock forward with conceptual albums, he felt Zeppelin were simply recycling old blues patterns with louder amps and longer guitar solos. Their enormous commercial success only deepened his resentment as he watched them overshadow more innovative artists. Insiders claim he would avoid events where Zeppelin members might appear and deliver sharp remarks about their borrowed success whenever their name came up.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.